You have to be a mad scientist about growth.
Welcome to the Real Estate Executive Thought Leadership Podcast, a fast paced show featuring focused insights from executive thought leaders in the real estate industry.
For episode 6, we talk with Michael Yates. He's the VP of Marketing at Virtuance, a Denver-based real estate photography and visual marketing firm. We'll discuss how startups can position their brand, scale growth, and build in-house marketing teams. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe, share, and leave a review to spread the word. Let's get started. Hi, Michael. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Kirky. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about your professional background. What is your background in marketing?
I know it sounds cliche, but I'm a jack of all trades kind of marketer. My entire career has been being a first marketer. So I've dabbled in design, SEO, all digital marketing strategies, and really brand positioning. Those have been my kind of fortes over my 12-year career.
Now tell us a little bit about your educational background.
Yeah, so I graduated from the University of Nebraska. I received a degree in Bachelor of Journalism. My specialty was advertising, but I also minored in English and psychology. So I think marketing was calling my name as early as college. Just combining all of that together has kind of been exciting. And at the time, didn't realize how important it would be for my career development.
I could see how that psychology education would help with understanding buyers' motives.
Oh, absolutely. Building copy and understanding neuromarketing, which is something I get really excited about. Never would have known back then that would have been so valuable. I'm thankful to have that in my background.
What drew you to working with, and how did you get involved with Virtuance?
Virtuance was a surging startup looking for their first marketer to scale their growth. And that's what really got me excited to join them. My previous experience was being a first marketer for an emerging company. So it was in my wheelhouse. So being able to once again create the marketing roadmap for a company that was primed for that rapid growth, especially in the real estate marketing space, it was a home run for me. It was a no-brainer that I wanted to pursue it. And I'm very thankful that they gave me the opportunity to do that.
What appeals to you about marketing, and is marketing an art or a science?
What appeals me to marketing the most is the fact that it's always changing. It's not the same thing every day, and you can really become the master of your own domain. And so many different disciplines within marketing. You could go the digital side, you could go the copy side, the design. To answer the second part of that question, I think marketing is a beautiful blend of both art and science because you have to use both sides of your brain. You have to be creative. You have to know what clients are wanting and how to deliver that message and in a way that resonates with them the most. I would once again say it's a perfect blend of art and science, and that's what I really get excited about is being able to say, like, I'm going to create this new landing page, really using my creativity to do that, and then saying my analytical side is going to see how is that converting, how much traffic is coming to that site, how can I improve that through the creative thinking again.
Okay, let's talk about your professional direction. What does success look like for you in 5 years?
Success looks like adding another zero or two to the annual revenue number for Virtuance. I love my position here at Virtuance, and just being able to continue to grow the team and grow the business is really what I have in my 5-year vision.
What professional development tools and resources are you engaging with?
I engage a lot with the marketing community, a lot of thought leaders that are big, especially like Neil Patel, Eric Sue. I've joined their Q&As and have been asking them questions, so I'm learning from the pros. Engage with a lot of people in different marketing communities, whether on Facebook or Slack. Just really continuing to learn. Like I said, marketing is always evolving, and it's the art and the science, and there's always new ways to do things and better ways to do things. So I try to stay engaged with marketers. I'm a very hands-on leader, just being able to kind of continue what I call sharpening my spear comes to marketing is really at the forefront of my typically Wednesdays. Wednesdays, I block out time to just learn.
Are there any books you're reading right now?
Right now, I'm rereading Radical Candor. It's a book about just really being open and honest with your coworkers and just in personal relationships and how significant that is. It's one of our core values at Virtuance is open and honest communication. So just rereading that. Like I said, you can always learn more, especially from books that you've read. So I'm reading that. And I'm also reading a book by Ryan Holiday called Stillness is the Key. It's really focused on the mindset of just really taking perspective and thinking before you react. Those are the two things I'm reading right now. And I need to get back into a marketing book here as my next spot to go.
Well, thank you. I'll look for those. How do you decompress from daily business?
The most important thing for me is just to have outside hobbies and activities. I have a 7-year-old son, Spend a lot of time in the backyard playing baseball with him, frisbee. Just picked up guitar again, so I'm doing guitar lessons at night, which has been really fun. I know three chords, so I'm really excited about that. And then I like to work out as much as possible, running, doing my Peloton. So I just try to keep busy, and cooking with the family is another big thing that I like to do. It's really nice and relaxing way to end the day. Is just all together, putting on some music and making something together is really fun.
Okay, so let's talk about your company. Please share with us what Virtuance does and who you serve. In other words, what are your core competencies and unique value proposition?
Virtuance provides photography, 3D tours, and various other visual marketing tools designed specifically for real estate. So we don't dabble in wedding photography or anything else. Our competency is selling real estate. While there's many companies in our space that do this, what really sets us apart though is that we've created our own image processing system called HD Real, which leverages artificial intelligence to produce visually stunning and consistent images that are proven to actually capture attention better than the standard HDR photo that you get from a professional photographer. So that's really something that's fun to be part of again, and that what we can provide to our clients.
So, do you have in house photographers or do you also work with outside vendors in local markets?
We have a network of photographers that are contractors that are trained to be real estate marketers. So they work with Virtuance. So we have over 300 photographers in our network nationwide, and we're excited about having them be part of our team.
What is the primary focus of your growth and marketing strategy?
Providing value and ongoing education is at the forefront of our strategy. The challenge in our business is that a client can only use us if they actually have a listing that needs photography. The question is, what do you do in between those opportunities? Sending promo codes and pushing products is just not going to cut it. You're speaking to an audience that can't use those. So our strategy has been to help our clients get that next listing with marketing ideas, giving them exposure opportunities, and sharing best practices of what we've learned by partnering with thousands of agents nationwide. So just ongoing education, how can we help you, has really been at the forefront of the strategy that we've implemented, and it's worked terrifically.
Yes, that sounds like an inbound content strategy you're talking about. We'll get to that later as well.
Awesome.
Are you leveraging partnerships with other professionals and firms in the industry?
Absolutely. While the majority of our client base are individual realtors, we've added a number of enterprise level partnerships in the past 2 years. And that's mainly because of our focus on creating a set of advanced systems that allows enterprise clients to effortlessly order shoots in large volume nationwide and have their images directly sent into their system. So we're really excited about those partnerships. It's been exciting to see how our enterprise department has really taken off. But yeah, we do leverage partnerships.
Okay, let's look at trends in the marketplace. What trends and challenges do you see in the industry, and how are you adapting?
Sure. So the most recent challenge that we face has definitely been the impact of the COVID crisis on how realtors sell real estate. With open houses coming to a complete standstill for quite some time, agents needed to replicate that open house experience online, and they needed a product that we call 3D walkthroughs, a way where you can go through the house and you kind of navigate with your mouse or your cursors. That was a product that we only had in two markets right when COVID hit. Our team across all departments really had to quickly pivot from the initiatives that we were working on to really train and support this new product nationwide in over 28 more markets, which we did in a matter of weeks, which is amazing. Typically a product rollout like this would take multiple months, to make sure you're up to speed. So to do this in a matter of weeks was, just I'm still amazed by it. And that pivot and that change really resulted in over 190% growth in our 3D walkthrough orders, which was amazing. So we just continue to evolve with technology and the things that agents are looking at as differentiators in terms of marketing their listings, listening to our clients, and then creating that product for them, something that we really focus on.
Okay, let's look at leadership. How would you describe your leadership style, and how do you motivate your team?
My leadership style is definitely lead by example. Something I tell new hires is that I will never ask you to do something that I wouldn't do myself. And a lot of times I've done it. Once again, being a first marketer back to back in my career, I know what it takes and I understand expectations for different roles. So I motivate through just being a helping hand if need be, a coach. I mean, I think that's what really motivates my team, is to be able to say, like, hey, I've done this before. I understand the challenges and the opportunities we have here, and how can I help overcome obstacles so that you can do your job better.
Has the public health crisis changed the way your team works?
Yes, and I think most people were working remotely for the first time, which had its challenges obviously at the beginning. Just trying to adapt to that new culture. And it's actually worked out very well for my team. I think we've become actually closer. We have more one on ones and more FaceTime via Zoom conferences. And the collaborational tools that we have has really helped us collaborate better and come up with some new ideas that we probably wouldn't have created otherwise. It's definitely changed the way our team works.
You mentioned Zoom, which is a popular tool. We use it a lot. We hear that everybody's using that extensively. What other tools are you using to collaborate?
We use Slack. It's a chat for the entire company. We use that also with some of our marketing vendors. And we also use Asana, which is a project management tool that I highly recommend. It's just a great way to collaborate cross departmentally and keep a timeline and process going of different projects that we're trying to implement. It's just a great way to organize your day. And then Google Drive, the whole suite of Google tools we leverage. So, Google Docs, Google Sheets. It's just a great way to, once again, collaborate remotely. We don't have to worry about uploading here and there. It's all in Google. So those are the main tools that we use. I try to keep our tools down to a minimum just because I think you get kind of almost product bloat and you try to figure out where's this, where's that. And so we try to keep that lean and mean.
So I know you have a lot of experience building marketing teams. What advice can you offer for executives that are striving to build an in-house marketing team?
The number one thing I would offer for executives is to start slow and start small. I think it's very easy to say, especially if you come into funding, to say, I need to build a whole marketing team. I need a designer. I need a digital marketer. I need this and I need that. And the fact of the matter is, especially if you're building a team from scratch, you need to start small. Hire a generalist that can do a lot of things and can really provide you with examples and strategies of like, hey, this is what, from all the things that I'm doing, here are maybe the three things that are working the best that we should scale. I think that's been the best way that I've seen, especially in my career, seeing the success is that you start small, you don't worry about, trying to train so many people. You just kind of let it come organically and really rely on a generalist to kind of give you that roadmap. And then from there, they can give you strategy of, hey, this is working really well and we should hire someone that specializes in this. And that's what I did. So, like I said, I'm a jack of all trades, but I'm no expert in everything. No one is. So, what I've done is I've scaled efforts and said, you know what? SEO is working great for us. It's taking up a lot of my time that I need to focus on other things for. So, let's hire an SEO specialist. Things like that is the most important thing. Is just know what you got first before you just start going hog wild with hiring.
Okay, let's talk about marketing.
Mhm.
What does thought leadership mean to you?
Thought leadership means being very selfless in the content you provide. It's really not to support anything that you're doing. It's to support the people that are looking to you as a thought leader. It's not hawking products. It's sharing common knowledge of your own experiences about how to do things better, how to look at something differently. So I think thought leadership is really saying, from my expertise, here's the best way to create content, or here are lessons that I took from my latest marketing campaign, and it has nothing to do with your own ego or anything else. It's purely about educating the listener, the reader, and really being selfless in that manner.
So we touched on this before. Is an inbound content strategy worth the time and expense?
Absolutely, 100% in bold, it is. Inbound content strategy. I mean, if you don't have content, you don't really have brand awareness. You don't have a lot of things that drive traffic to your website and increase your business. Yeah, it's definitely worth the time and expense. It's what we focus the vast majority of my time on. It's been the driver of all of our growth. Can't say it enough. It is important.
How vital is social marketing?
Social marketing is definitely vital, especially with so many people working remotely and spending a lot more time on social media. You have to have a presence, and it doesn't take a lot of time anymore. I think you have to first start with what your goal is of having social as part of your marketing mix and really just keeping that presence going. It's great for brand identity. People know that you're still around, you're still doing business when they can see what you're doing on Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook. It helps you build your professional network. Yeah, it's absolutely vital, and it doesn't need to take as much time as you might think it does, or and it's not as daunting anymore. There's so many tools and content providers to help you with this. I think it's definitely a win-win situation to be doing social marketing.
And I think building that marketing team is an important part of that, being able to manage that campaign and keep it consistent.
Absolutely. Yep. Having that understanding what's going on, what are the trends, and whether or not you should also add channels, because I think it's very easy for, especially individual realtors or teams to say, you know what, we need to have a TikTok account, we need to have a Snapchat account, but it's important that you have that professional that understands who those channels appeal to and is that in line with your customer base. And if it's not, then it's probably not something that you need to worry about at this point. Really double down on the channels that you know that your clients live on. We know that Facebook is really the most significant channel for our client base, so we spend a lot of time on there.
So you'd say it's better to focus on a few channels rather than try to conquer all of them.
Yeah, that's just been my experience, and I think others would definitely disagree, but I think it's the matter of bandwidth. I think it's better to be able to focus and optimize the channels that you know are driving the most engagement. And if you have free time, if you have time, there's no problem with dabbling or experimenting with a different channel like a Snapchat or TikTok or anything else that comes up. But have realistic expectations, especially if it's an emerging channel and maybe your client base is not as tech savvy as a millennial group per se, then yeah, maybe your time would be better off spent on content writing or just doubling down on where you know they live.
How important are monitoring and tracking in your campaigns, and what KPIs do you focus on?
It's very important to be monitoring and tracking campaigns. You got to know what's working so you can once again really respect your team's bandwidth. If something's not working, why do it? If it's not driving business, it's not driving leads, then it's probably not something you should do, or at least you should be trying to optimize it with experiments. If you don't have the compass of what's working and what's not, then you're really just kind of throwing money out the door. It's important that you're knowing what's working and what's not, especially from a bandwidth and a business standpoint. And then the KPIs that we focus on is our organic traffic to the website. That really is a true testament of how our content strategy is working, as well as leads. We want to make sure that we're providing value to the point that people want to hear from us ongoing. Once they come to our site, once again, they may not be ready to schedule a shoot with us. So how do we have them join our community so that they can hear from us and that we're providing value to them? And if our leads growing, then we know we're doing something right.
What is the most crucial element in positioning your brand?
The most crucial element is our image quality. That is our bread and butter. Our images, we really try to say, speak for themselves. And it makes our social strategy easy because we are producing that content images on a daily basis. So making sure that the composition and quality just stays top notch is very important, because that is ultimately why our clients do business with us. If that's not up to snuff, then it would really become difficult to position us as a leader in the photography space. It's very important that we're focusing on our product as part of that positioning strategy.
Can you share a story about a successful campaign?
Definitely. Just as recently with the COVID crisis, as we mentioned, Zoom is very popular now. Everyone's doing business, video conferencing. And the one thing that Zoom has that makes it a little more lively and creative is that you can have virtual backgrounds. Being a photography company, we found the prime opportunity to say, you know what, let's create Zoom backgrounds and offer it up, help build our organic traffic. People, I'm sure, are looking for Zoom backgrounds. You can look at social media, people are sharing funny backgrounds that they have and whatnot. So we jumped on that bandwagon, and it has produced over 25,000 unique organic visits to our website. In fact, it's getting more traffic than some of our account-based pages like checkout and member pages, which is outstanding and amazing. And it didn't really take us that much time. And that's another thing with strategy, is like, you don't have to overthink things. It's just get something out into the world and see what sticks. That was like the prime example of that. Hey, let's get some of our images, let's throw it in a zip file and offer it up in a blog article. And yeah, 25,000 views later, we have lightning in a bottle here. How can we do this again?
That's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
So, where do you envision the Virtuance brand going in the 2020s?
Virtuance is really at the really beginning of us taking that next step. Like I mentioned earlier, we're building a lot of custom integrations and really going beyond just offering these visual marketing tools for listings. We're building partnerships that really help us create like an ecosystem of all the marketing things you would need as a real estate professional. Just recently, we've launched what we call the Virtuance Marketing Suite, which is our way of delivering our images, but also provides additional value for agents, such as listing websites, brochures, and it really creates a sandbox for us to really think of it as a all-in-one kind of marketing platform. So it really gives us the opportunity to grow, like I said, just beyond visual marketing. It can be your CRM tool down the road. We can integrate with virtual open house showing calendars and all these things. It becomes like this really fun and exciting thing that we're all thinking, oh, how can we grow it and how can we continue to provide that value to our clients? We become more of a overall marketing company that goes beyond just photography, especially in the 2020s.
So I see you're offering some free social media resources.
Yep. As part of our value and ongoing education, we've created some custom social media templates that require no design experience. If you're short on time or you don't have that team set up just yet, you can use PowerPoint or Google Slides to create these really beautiful templates. And so we're offering these for free. All you need to do is go to virtuance.com/social and you can download the templates from there.
Oh, great. What is one closing insight you'd like to share for executives targeting growth?
Yeah, the number one is experiment. You have to be a mad scientist about growth. You have to understand your numbers and what are the things that can change those numbers pretty rapidly. The only way you can do that is by experimenting with your content, with different campaigns, even what times you deliver your emails. If you're not experimenting, you're not learning, and you're not giving yourself enough opportunities to grow. Some of our biggest wins have come from taking a campaign that we thought was potentially a fail and saying, you know what, instead of just, scrapping it and going back to the drawing board, let's change these one or two things. And then we see rapid growth. And if we wouldn't have experimented and measured, we would have just said, okay, it's on to the next thing and then try to scale that. And you kind of get on this hamster wheel of just failures and failures and failures and scratching your head of why is it not working. By understanding your numbers and experimenting to grow those numbers is the number one thing you can do to set your business up and your team up for success.
Well, thank you for being our guest, Michael. This has been a great interview, and I appreciate you sharing your insights.
Yeah, happy to do it. Thank you again for the opportunity, Kirky.
Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe to get updates on our upcoming podcasts. Share the inspiration.